Welcome to Dread Pirates Really Quick Reviews, where we give a spoiler-free rundown and reading recommendation for pulp stories. Fantasy, sci-fi, horror, short, long, indie, literary, whatever. If it's fiction that sticks, the Dread Pirate wants it. From the sparse to the poetic, this writer was as blue-collar as they come. He wrote for a living, and it shows in his workmanlike production upon the page. Everything, and I mean everything in these stories, serves the stories. Nothing is extraneous. Characters are exactly as deep as they need to be, and nothing else. The settings are a laundry line on which to hang the plot. There's not one iota of wasted space in the work of a man, perhaps a little dramatically, who is writing for his life. Richard Matheson is a renowned science fiction writer of the latter half of the 20th century. He's best remembered for some of the best episodes of the original Twilight Zone, to which he was a frequent contributor. But his work was also adapted to the screen in I Am Legend and What Dreams May Come. He also wrote directly for the screen, including horror icon Roger Corman's adaptations of the Poe tales, Fall of the House of Usher, The Raven, and The Pit and the Pendulum. Specifically, I want to talk about this anthology I picked up at my local bookstore, Bookman's. This is Steel and Other Stories by Richard Matheson. The title story, Steel, was adapted as a Twilight Zone episode and into Real Steel, the 2011 movie starring Hugh Jackman. While Real Steel was a perfectly good popcorn flick, the Twilight Zone episode is a more faithful adaptation. Now, I'm not done reading all the stories in this, but I wanted to highlight a few of note. Those stories are To Fit the Crime, The Doll That Does Everything, and the one I'm going to talk about in detail today, When Day is Done. That's done spelled D-U-N, like the color, not finished. Also, the back blurb on the book claims that the story The Splendid Source was adapted to a Family Guy episode. I haven't read that story yet, but I'm excited to, and then check out the episode after. Specifically, I wanted to talk about what I think is the best story of the anthology that I've read, and that's When Day is Done. It's so short that I can't talk specifically about it much without spoiling it, but I'll do my best as a way of recommending it. And oh yeah, that story especially and the whole collection earns an unreserved yes on the recommendation scale. My introduction highlighted exactly what makes this story such an arresting read. The speaker's a poet composing an ode to the end of the earth shortly after the apocalypse has occurred. So we get snatches of his poem as he's writing and rewriting it, along with his own flowery insight as to what he wants to tweak in his words and what points he wants to make. It's beautiful prose that occasionally crosses into overwritten hilarity, where he's thinking and he'll think in puns or wordplay. But then that will whiplash back into stark, cold observations on what caused the destruction of the world. Others might disagree, but I think Matheson absolutely sticks the landing here. It all makes sense as you're reading it, and it's jarring in a way that you completely accept given the story's premise and the main character. The twist ending, which I won't spoil, but Matheson was known for twist endings, is another total reverse of course, and I couldn't believe it when I read it. It was one of those where I saw the twist coming and I was still blown away when it happened. That's so hard to do in writing, but you're left with a sense of shock despite the twist still being predictable. I don't know, your mileage may vary, but this is easily my favorite short story in the collection so far. Anyway, thanks for checking this out. I really encourage you to add Matheson to your list of short fiction reading. Especially if you're a writer yourself, Matheson shows you how to write impactful stories quickly, and that's so valuable for a writer to practice. Many of the stories, you get the sense were written in one sitting, or at least on a single train of thought. Yet they don't feel rushed or shallow. His style has a formula, but that formula is expertly executed. So read him, and if you're a writer, write like Matheson. Find a structure you like and practice short work. By the way, shameless plug, but I did publish my own book of horror or horror adjacent short stories, which I'll link below. I'll let you be the judge of whether I can stick the landing like Matheson so often seems to. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't offer for people to compare my own writing to a literal master of science fiction. I'm sure it'll work out. There's no way that could backfire.